I am a sustainability-oriented professor, which means I'm trying to help my students, to move towards ecological and social value creation as much as I do as an individual. The younger generations are asking companies for a sustainable change. If you, look rationally into what is coming up in the next few years, sustainability will be a hot topic in the 2030s. I'm optimistic about the fact that we can always make decisions. And by making decisions, we create the future that we would want to have.
Welcome back to Let's Walk. Today I'm in Berlin and the question is simple. How do you build a business that's good for the planet? Let's find out with our experts of the day. Let's walk. Hello Florian, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too.
Thank you for welcoming me to Berlin.
Of course, my pleasure.
My first question is, who are you, Florian?
Yeah, I am Florian Lüdeke-Freund. I'm a professor for corporate sustainability here at ESCP Business School at our very nice Berlin campus.
So tell me more about your expertise. What do you teach your students?
Yeah, so in my teaching I focus on different topics at the business and sustainability intersection. Like, for example, how can companies consider ecological and social issues in their strategies, in their business models, in their marketing. So it's about the integration of business activities on the one hand and ecological and social issues on the other hand.
And why did you decide to focus on these topics?
Yeah. So I think this goes back to a course on environmental economics, which I had long ago when I was a student, in which I learned that our economic models are somehow incomplete because they, of course, depend on the availability of natural resources, but the models and theories that we traditionally use do not consider this fact really.
They don't include these parts. Yes.
For example, in terms of considering resource scarcities and also the negative effects that business activity can have on the natural environment. And understanding that we need a more holistic, more integrated view on business and the economy, this to me was kind of a little epiphany. It was mind-blowing.
It was a turning moment for you.
It definitely was, yeah.
And where did you grow up?
I grew up in the middle of Germany, in a small village.
So in nature.
I'm a village boy, so to speak.
Is that influence your path?
It's possible because I was always confronted with, this green environment. I was outside most of my time. I observed, how agriculture is working, and maybe this kind of, trained me to look at things from a more holistic perspective.
I would love to know more about your expertise. Can you show me another place in Berlin where we can talk about it?
Yes, of course. Berlin has a lot of amazing places, so let's check out a few.
Let's go, let's walk.
Sure.
Florian, you brought me in a very symbolical place. Where are we?
So we're here at the Brandenburger Tor, Brandenburg Gate. And this gate is one of the many symbols of Germany's reunification, which is a very important historical moment, as you know.
Very important place. Let's go back to our topic. So you've been working on sustainable business model for years. Can you give me a definition of a sustainable business model?
Yeah, so first of all, we can define what is a business model. And the business model is describing how an organization, which can be a company, but also a non-profit organization, creates value for its customers and other stakeholders. And in the case of a company, it's very easy to explain this because the company is offering products or services, bringing them to the market, and in this way making clients happy. And overall value is created for the clients, for the customers, and for the company itself. And that's the job of a business model. And a sustainable business model is one that at the same time is creating ecological and social value. And this can, for example, mean that a company is reducing its harm done to the natural environment, or that it is able to offer additional social benefits.
And do you maybe have an example of a concrete sustainable business model?
So as we are in Germany, I can maybe talk about VD. And VD is a company that produces sports clothing and sports gear like bags. And VD is operating a business model that is very sustainability oriented, I would say. They are not just producing long-living, high-quality products, but they're also trying to reduce their environmental footprint as much as they can. And they're also helping people who are socially disadvantaged, for example, people with disabilities, to find a job. They are very much into diversity and equal treatment.
There is a social impact of what they're doing.
So they have a strong social mission while they produce high-quality, long-lasting products.
And are you a consumer of this brand?
Yes, I myself one, yes.
Okay, nice. I also know that you co-founded the STAR Centre.
Yes.
What is it?
So the STAR Centre is a center for sustainability transformation and applied research. And we founded the STAR Centers a few years ago to help researchers and business experts meet and exchange.
Okay.
Because first of all, we as researchers and teachers, we can learn a lot from business experts. And at the same time, as researchers, we have a lot to offer that we would like to tell, business practitioners and propose to them, for example, to try out new sustainable business models. And because we are lacking formats which enable this kind of exchange, we founded the STAR Centre as a little playground where we can test different formats like events, joint research with companies, etc., to facilitate this kind of exchange.
So it's a way to put theory and concrete together.
Yes, right.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Let's go to another place?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's walk?
Yeah.
Florian, you are my guide today in Berlin. Tell me something I don't know about this beautiful place.
Yes, now we are at Berlin's Siegessäule, Berlin's victory column. It's a symbol for the military victories of Prussia in the 19th century.
Okay.
And today it is also an important place for public events, for example, for the Christopher Street Day, where diversity and inclusion are being celebrated.
Beautiful place.
Yes.
Let's start a game. I want to play with you now. I have a game for you. I call it sustainable or greenwashing. So I explain to you.
That sounds cool.
I'm going to give you real initiative from companies around the world.
Yeah.
You tell me if it's sustainable or greenwashing.
Okay. Okay, good.
Let's do it?
Yeah.
So the first one, H&M launched a clothing recycling program. Is it sustainable or greenwashing according to you?
In harsh terms, I would say it's greenwashing, although it's the right initiative to remind people to bring back clothes and to remind people that something has to happen at the end of life. But the way it is set up now, I would say it's more about, triggering further consumption, by handing out vouchers and other incentives.
Yeah, and they still release new collection every year, more and more, so yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Second one, McDonald's replaced all its plastic straws with paper straws. Sustainable or greenwashing?
Again, in harsh terms, I would say it's greenwashing because, by just replacing or prohibiting plastic straws, we don't change so much. But again, the idea behind it is the right move to, help people to get rid of all these single-use plastics.
Yeah, okay. Nespresso launched a range of recyclable capsules. Greenwashing or sustainable?
That's difficult. I would say it's in between. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Because what they are doing is very ambitious. They set up a very ambitious and comprehensive take-back scheme. They offer a lot of products based on the taken-back capsules. But at the same time, I think we have to question a little bit whether we need this kind of consumption where for every cup of coffee we produce an extra amount of waste. Again, they see the point, they do something very smart, but again, we have to rethink a little bit how we consume and what we consume.
IKEA use only recycled materials. Sustainable or greenwashing?
In this case, I think they are very much moving towards a potentially sustainable business model. Because they are tackling the core of their products, which is the physical material. Yeah, and every company that's putting their hands on the core of their products, on the core of their business, I would say they are making bold moves towards a sustainable business. So I think IKEA is doing overall a good job, and I think you might find indications of greenwashing, but I would say it's a very honest and bold attempt to close the loops.
Okay, so they are in the right way.
I think so.
Okay. And I have a last question. You spent 20 years working on sustainable business model. Are you a sustainable professor or greenwashing?
I am a sustainability-oriented professor, which means I'm trying to help my students, to move towards ecological and social value creation, as much as I do as an individual. But as with everything, there's no perfectly sustainable thing, and the same is for me, right?
Thank you, Florian. It was so interesting. Thank you for your answer. And now I have a second games for you. I called it myth or reality. So I'm going to give you some of the most common things people say about sustainability. And you tell me if it's myth or reality. Okay? The first one, being sustainable always costs more. Myth or reality?
It's a reality if you continue consuming in the way you do, like buying a lot of new clothes, traveling a lot, eating meat and so on. But it's much cheaper if you also change your consumption style. For example, eating much less meat, thinking twice if you have to buy new clothes, thinking twice if you have to take the airplane. Then a sustainable lifestyle can even be a cheaper lifestyle.
It makes sense. Okay. You can't be sustainable and competitive at the same time.
Yes, you can be very competitive and very sustainable at the same time. We know this from companies like Interface, Patagonia, or German VD I already mentioned.
And why these companies?
Because you convince your consumers with better, longer living products which have a higher quality and which are at the same time more ecological.
Green energy isn't reliable enough yet. Myth or reality?
It's a myth. We have the Scandinavian countries which rely a lot on renewable energies, but also in Germany we have around 40% of our electricity coming from renewables, and we don't face blackouts all the time, so we have a very stable system. Although it's a reality that those operating these systems are more and more challenged to keep the systems stable. And this is where AI and battery technology and all of these new devices come into play.
And the last one, sustainability is just a trend. In 10 years, nobody will talk about it anymore.
In 10 years from now, we will talk about it even more than today, because things are getting more volatile, resources are getting more and more scarce. The younger generations are asking companies for a sustainable change. So this is not just me being a sustainability professor, but if you look rationally into what is coming up in the next few years, sustainability will be a hot topic in the 2030s.
Sustainability is the future.
It's here to stay.
Thank you, Florian. It was so interesting.
Very interesting questions.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Now we are at EUREF. What is this place?
The EUREF Campus here in Berlin-Schöneberg is an innovation campus where organizations like universities, research institutes and companies meet to work together on the sustainable energy and mobility transition.
And is this initiative effective?
Yes, I think so. So many companies use it like a space to present their innovations. Research institutes use it to communicate to the wider public. Events take place. I think it's a very lively and very innovative space, so I think it's working quite well.
I have another question. Now people feel maybe more overwhelmed about the climate, about the geopolitical issues, about AI. What do you tell them?
First of all, one thing at a time. I mean, if I was thinking about AI disruptions in energy, climate, what have you, at the very same time, of course I get very overwhelmed and confused. So this is something I tell my students: first of all, decide what you want to do and where you would like to make a contribution. And if it's a business contribution to climate protection, for example, so then that's your thing, that's what you have to focus on, and try to forget a little bit about the other things going on.
And what's your message to the future business leader?
So again, we may feel overwhelmed, but I think we are still in the driving seat. So we can still make decisions. For example, in terms of trying to make our business models more sustainable, more competitive by being more sustainable. And to me, this is really a question of what decisions are being taken. It's not so much a question of fate. It's a question of Will you decide to become an innovator? Will you decide to make a contribution to the energy transition? And then try to go for it.
Yeah, true. Okay. Let's go to another place to end this conversation.
Yeah, cool.
Florian, we talked a lot about business, but are you an entrepreneur yourself?
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah, really?
Yes. So the last book we published together with some colleagues of mine was published in a kind of self-publishing model. And to make this happen, I had to set up my own little publishing house, my own little company.
So you created your own company. And what is it your book about?
It's about sustainable business model design.
Okay.
So it's about the different types of business models that companies can use to try to become more, let's say, beneficial in ecological and social terms.
And what should we remember about your book?
That there are many cases from which companies can learn. So many companies have successfully designed and redesigned their business models to make ecological and social contributions. And this is what is kind of a tool, like a toolbox that's also relevant for practitioners.
So if someone wants to create a business, they should read your book.
Yeah, they should read the book. But of course, at the end of the day, the practical experience and the feedback from the market, this is how entrepreneurs really learn.
And I have a last question. Are you optimistic about the future?
I'm optimistic about the fact that we can always make decisions. And by making decisions, we create the future that we would want to have. So this is what keeps me optimistic.
So let's be more decisive.
Yes, let's be decisive, let's be bold, and also let's try to be experimental and to play a little bit.
I think it's a good way to end this conversation. Thank you so much, Florian.
Thanks a lot for the invitation and for the great questions.
And all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, bye. It's the end of this video about sustainability. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and see you soon for the next one.